Hello and welcome to Customer Experience Magazine. My name's David Dungay. We're here reporting live from Contact Centre Expo in London. I'm with Steve Blood from Five9. How are you doing, Steve?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. Steve, I want us to talk to you about human and AI and how those two things are coming together, or should they come together. Tell me, what are Five9 doing on the stand around these two question marks, human and automation and AI?
Yeah, it's really important because I think, last year and before, we had this euphoria around, oh my goodness, AI is just going to get rid of people, everyone's going to be made redundant, it'll be no custom contact centres anymore, and that's had a knock-on effect in the industry. We've been working with our customers and obviously doing lots of surveys and things, and I think what we've seen this year is understanding that that's not the case. AI is not replacing staff, but it is making them more effective. And so our mantra has always been AI and humans working together, and that's what comes through on our stand, and that's what's coming through in the new products that we launched this week.
Talk to me about empathy, because that's one of the big conversations around AI. Is how do you make it empathise with customers? I mean, should we make it empathise with customers? What's your view on that? Where does the line sit between making AI have empathy or not at all?
Well, AI won't need empathy if it doesn't do anything wrong, okay? And that's the real reason that empathy is growing as a requirement in the service centre, is because customers are getting frustrated and upset. Now, right now, in some cases, bots are causing that frustration, and so when customers get to talk to an employee, that employee has to be empathetic. So if we get the AI or the bots doing the things that they're good at scale, they get it right, then when we have a scenario where a customer needs support, and sometimes there will be scenarios where they will be upset, not by the bot necessarily, but by something else, then the employee can apply a bit of empathy. I personally do not believe that bots will be able to offer empathy, or even AI agents. I think that's something that is reserved for people to do that. And I think also you've got to think about the whole process here, because I'm very sorry is not empathy, that's sympathy. Empathy is, I've understood the problem, we are really sorry about this is what I'm going to do to fix it, I'm going to go away and fix it, and then I'm going to call you and tell you we've fixed it. That's empathy, end to end, and I don't see bots doing that, but humans absolutely will.
Well, you're seeing the big challenges right now with agentic adoption and AI adoption. I'm seeing in pockets of the market, some people rolling back solutions, some people not getting the ROI they quite want. What's your take on that?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges we've had is that companies have built automation for them, not for their customers. This came through this morning in a session that Martin Teasdale was running, this desire to say, well, what do your customers want? What is going to be beneficial to your customers? And I'm a massive believer in that. If you understand how they want to interact with automation, you build for that, you will achieve your objective of lower costs, etc. But if you build it for internal reasons, but you forget the customer and you make it more difficult for the customer, then you're not going to reduce the amount of inquiry, you're probably going to increase it, and you're going to increase the level of dissatisfaction as well. So that has to be, I think everything should be built for the customer. And we've done research, Qualtrics did research earlier this year. Consumers want to use self-service, but they want it on their terms, not on the terms of the business.
I think the interesting thing about that is that their terms could be different for you, to someone else. What are the realities of building a world where someone might want a slightly different experience for the same service?
Well, I think now we're talking or moving into levels of personalisation. And again, this morning, that was an interesting concept. Do we as consumers really want personalisation? And I think it needs to be something which is not so obvious. So we take elements of understanding what my experience will be different to yours. If the company I'm dealing with knows that, then they can deliver something that fits for me, fits for you, and so on. But that does require a deeper level of understanding. So there needs to be gathering more data on customers. Right now, really, it's just a one-size-fits-all or a one-size-fits-this segment. And that's okay. But I think we can go a step further by using technology to create more of a personalised, individually personalised capability.
Tell me, Steve, what are you excited about over the next couple of years in the contact center / CX space?
What am I excited about? I think a couple of things. I think that as we move through next year, there was a survey I saw recently where the increased use of analytics for voice and data had like doubled. And so this is a little light bulb for me, because if you really want to know how you can improve the service you're offering customers, you have to know what you're delivering now. And the great thing about the analytics today is using generative, we can just create trends, we can create topics of conversation that companies historically would need to invest heavily in constantly updating and retraining the analytics engine to understand that. So this stuff comes through very naturally, very quickly, literally within 30 seconds. And so we can work on that to understand what the real challenges are. So I find that really interesting. I think what that does mean is that we will be able to meet customers' self-service requirements more. We will take away the dross or the low-hanging fruit for staff, but that also means we need to think about what are these people going to be doing next? And I think as we have more automation, we're going to need to have people who supervise that. And so I see the service reps becoming AI supervisors. They will be training the bots, and they will be also quality scoring them to improve on those services. So a new role, an elevated role, and something which I think if companies get it right will be a huge boost to service that we as consumers are getting today.
Steve, thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching me, David Dungay, on Customer Experience Magazine.